What if I told you your muscles aren't gone, just waiting? You reach for the same coffee mug you've lifted for 30 years, but now it feels heavier, not by much, just enough to notice, enough to make you pause. Most people chalk it up to age, to gravity, to just the way it is after 70. But what if it's not? What if your body isn't breaking down? It's simply missing the signal to rebuild. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to look at something no one ever told you about how to build muscle after 70. It's not about lifting heavy weights. It's not about eating more. It's about waking up the part of your biology that still remembers how to grow strong. And yes, it still remembers. You see, the real reason most people lose strength after 60 has nothing to do with effort. It's something scientists call anabolic resistance. It's a quiet shift inside your cells that makes it harder for your muscles to respond to protein. Harder, but not impossible. Because here's the thing, certain proteins can still bypass this resistance, and some of them you've probably never even considered. Over the next few chapters, you'll discover 8 unexpected foods that don't just protect your strength, they restore it. One of them starts working in just 60 minutes. Another keeps building muscle while you sleep. And each one comes with a real story from someone who's lived this change. So if you've ever felt like you're fading, like the best days of your body are behind you, I hope you'll stay with me. Because the truth is, your muscles aren't giving up. They're waiting for you to give them a reason to stay. 1. The morning spark. Why whey protein builds muscle when eggs fall short. Whey protein builds muscle after 70 faster than eggs, and science can prove it. We used to believe a scrambled egg or two in the morning was enough. And for years, maybe it was, but not anymore. The body you're living in now doesn't just need protein. It needs the right kind of protein at the right time, or the window closes before your muscles even get the message. Here's the truth. By the time you finish digesting eggs, your muscles, especially after 70, have already missed their chance to grow. They needed fuel within an hour. You gave it to them 3 hours too late. Whey protein changes that. It hits your bloodstream in 60 minutes, delivers a precise spike of amino acids, especially leucine, the switch that tells aging muscles to activate. 1 scoop of whey. You're already halfway to the leucine threshold. Your body now needs to build anything. With eggs, you'd need 5 just to match it. This isn't theory. When researchers studied older adults over 75, those using whey protein gained double the muscle mass compared to those eating eggs, even when the total protein was the same. But it's not just speed. Whey is richer in branched-chain amino acids, or BCAAs, a trio of nutrients that work together to preserve, energize, and trigger muscle repair. They're like a small team that never clocks out. And aging bodies, they need a full team on duty every single day. Let me tell you about Harold. He's 78, still sharp, still witty, but a year ago he told me he felt like he was leaking strength, not falling apart, just slipping. I asked him one question. What's the first thing you eat each day? He shrugged. Toast. Sometimes eggs. Coffee always. We made one change. He started drinking a whey protein smoothie, 1 scoop blended with frozen berries, a pinch of cinnamon, and oat milk. That was it. 2 weeks later, he wasn't just stronger. He said, I woke up and my hands didn't hurt. That was new. 4 weeks in, he could lift his cast iron skillet again with one hand, something he hadn't done in 6 months. It wasn't magic. It was biology, finally getting the signal it had been waiting for. The older we get, the less time our muscles have to respond. That's why timing matters more than ever. Whey protein gives you speed, density, and digestibility. 3 things eggs, for all their history, just can't match anymore. If you're waking up stiff, weak, or a little slower than you'd like, don't wait until lunch to help your muscles. You've already missed the window. Make the first 60 minutes of your day count. And if you think one smoothie won't change much, remember Harold. He didn't start training. He didn't change his diet. He just gave his muscles a reason to believe again before they forgot how. Next, we'll talk about what happens after dark and the one food that rebuilds your body while you sleep. 2. The overnight fix. Why cottage cheese is the most powerful protein you'll never taste in the morning. Cottage cheese is the best slow-digesting protein for preserving muscle while you sleep. Most people focus on breakfast. Few think about what happens after dinner. But here's a quiet truth: between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., your muscles begin to break themselves down for fuel unless you stop them. This process, called overnight catabolism, accelerates after 70. You can lose muscle in your sleep and never feel it, until one day you can't get out of bed without using your arms. Now here's the good news. 1 cup of cottage cheese before bed can reverse that. Cottage cheese is rich in casein, a protein that forms a gel in your stomach and slowly releases amino acids for up to 8 hours. While you rest, it feeds your muscles drip by drip, fighting breakdown and supporting recovery. Researchers in the Netherlands gave older adults cottage cheese 30 minutes before sleep. What they found was remarkable. Their muscles continued building during sleep. Not maintaining, building. The magic doesn't stop there. Cottage cheese is also packed with selenium, a mineral that 60% of people over 70 are deficient in. Without selenium, your muscles can't contract properly. Weakness sets in faster. 1 cup of cottage cheese gives you enough to restore that lost function within weeks. It's also a rich source of vitamin B12, another key player in muscle synthesis. Without B12, your body can't use protein effectively no matter how much you eat. Now let me tell you about Jean. She's 81, fiercely independent, lives alone, and refuses to let age define her. But last year she told me, "I feel hollow in the mornings, like I lost something overnight." She had muscle energy stability. It was all slipping between the hours. She thought nothing was happening. We made one change. Each night before bed, she started eating half a cup of cottage cheese with a few walnuts and a sprinkle of cinnamon. That was it. 3 weeks in, she told me, "I'm waking up stronger. I'm sleeping deeper." I didn't think food could do that. It can. Better sleep boosts growth hormone. More growth hormone means better muscle repair. Cottage cheese doesn't just feed your muscles, it creates the environment for them to thrive. The calcium in it supports muscle contraction. The phosphorus aids energy production. The B12 keeps protein synthesis running smoothly. And unlike meat or hard cheeses, it requires no chewing, no prep, no cooking. Want to make it easier? Blend it with a spoon of almond butter and vanilla extract, then freeze it for 30 minutes. It tastes like ice cream, but it builds your muscles while you dream. If sodium is a concern, rinse it briefly. You'll remove up to 40% of the sodium while keeping the protein intact. The best part: my patients who do this simple nighttime routine wake up with less stiffness, more energy, and a feeling they haven't had in years: readiness. If breakfast is the spark, then bedtime is the repair. Don't let the night steal what the day worked so hard to build. Up next, we'll talk about a fish that doesn't just support muscle, it actually makes your muscle younger at the cellular level. 3. The forgotten fish. How wild salmon reverses muscle aging from the inside out. Wild salmon is the only protein that makes aging muscles act young again. Most proteins feed your muscles, but wild salmon repairs them at a level no other food can reach. Here's why. Your muscles aren't just losing mass as you age, they're suffering microscopic damage every day from a hidden enemy: inflammation. Tiny sparks that burn beneath the surface, breaking down muscle tissue cell by cell. Eggs can't fix that. Most meats can't touch it. But salmon, especially wild-caught Alaskan salmon, carries a molecular toolkit built for healing. First, omega-3s. Salmon is packed with EPA and DHA, 2 specific omega-3 fatty acids proven to reduce muscle inflammation, improve protein sensitivity, and reverse anabolic resistance in older adults. In one study, participants over 70 gained 6% more muscle mass without changing their diet or exercise, simply by eating omega-3s, equivalent to 3 servings of salmon per week. But that's just the beginning. Wild salmon is one of the few proteins rich in vitamin D, up to 1,000 IU per serving. That matters because 80% of adults over 70 are deficient. And vitamin D isn't just for bones. It activates muscle protein synthesis, directly turning on receptors inside your cells that eggs and chicken can't reach. Then there's the pink color. That's astaxanthin, one of the most powerful antioxidants known. It doesn't just protect your muscles, it protects their energy factories, the mitochondria. It keeps them running longer, stronger, more efficiently. Here's something else salmon gives you: creatine. About 1 gram per serving. Not as much as red meat, but enough to make a difference in strength and recovery. It's why salmon eaters often report less fatigue and better performance, even in simple tasks like climbing stairs or rising from a chair. Let me tell you about Arthur. He's 84. For years he thought his weakness came from age. He'd given up long walks, avoided hills, and dreaded standing too long. "My legs feel like they don't belong to me," he said. We didn't give him supplements, no powders, just a simple instruction: eat wild salmon twice a week. He baked it with lemon and olive oil. Nothing fancy. After 6 weeks, he didn't just feel stronger, he could walk the length of his block again, something he hadn't done in over a year. "I thought my muscles were tired," he said. Turns out they were starving for the right kind of support. If fresh wild salmon feels expensive, try canned wild salmon. It's budget-friendly, shelf-stable, and still packed with omega-3s. Just make sure it's wild, not farmed salmon, has half the omega-3s and almost no astaxanthin. And here's a trick: eat vegetables or a sweet potato before the salmon. This sequence lowers your blood sugar response, improves insulin sensitivity, and ensures more amino acids go to your muscles instead of being stored as fat. Salmon isn't just food. It's fuel, repair, and renewal in one bite. If you want a protein that doesn't just support your body, but restores it, this forgotten fish might be the most powerful ally you've overlooked. Next, we'll explore something even smaller. A seed so powerful it speaks your body's language, reduces inflammation, and builds strength without ever seeing a stove. 4. The seed that talks to your blood. Why hemp seeds quiet inflammation while feeding strength. Hemp seeds are anti-inflammatory powerhouses that build muscle without cooking, chewing, or complication. They don't look like much. Tiny, soft, almost invisible in the palm of your hand. But inside these little seeds is a protein your body recognizes like family and responds to like medicine. Let me explain. After 70, your muscles don't just need protein. They need proteins that calm the inflammation happening inside your body. Because here's the problem. Even if you're eating enough, inflammation blocks the muscle-building process by up to 50%. Your body's trying to grow, but fire is burning at the same time. Hemp seeds are one of the only foods that reduce that fire and feed your strength at once. Each tablespoon contains 3 grams of complete protein, no missing amino acids. But the real magic is in the fat, a perfect 3:1 ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids. This balance reduces inflammation at the muscular level, not just in joints or blood. They're also packed with gamma-linolenic acid, GLA, a compound that turns into powerful anti-inflammatory molecules in your body. GLA has been shown to cut muscle soreness and improve recovery, especially in older adults. And then there's arginine. Hemp seeds have more arginine than any other protein source. Arginine improves circulation, dilates blood vessels, and delivers nutrients exactly where they're needed: your muscles. As circulation slows with age, arginine picks up the slack, bringing oxygen, protein, and energy directly to your cells. Let me introduce you to Carol. She's 76, a retired school teacher with a quiet fire. Last year, she started walking with a cane. Not because of injury, because her legs felt unreliable. She wasn't weak. She was inflamed. We didn't overhaul her diet. We added one thing: a tablespoon of hemp seeds every morning, sprinkled on her yogurt. That's it. Within 3 weeks, she emailed me. "I feel like someone drained the fog out of my legs." She wasn't cured, but she was waking up lighter, moving freer, and regaining trust in her own body. The beauty of hemp seeds is how easy they are. No cooking, no prep, no chewing. Just sprinkle on oatmeal, yogurt, salads, even in smoothies. And because they're high in magnesium, iron, and zinc, they don't just support muscle, they support energy production, oxygen delivery, and immune function. Magnesium helps with muscle relaxation and recovery. Iron supports oxygen transport to tissues. Zinc is vital for cellular repair. Together they make hemp seeds more than just food. They're function in a spoon. One tip: start slow. 1 tablespoon a day for a week, then increase to 2 or 3 if tolerated. Their healthy fats and fiber can cause digestive adjustment at first, but once your gut adapts, the benefits speak for themselves. Store them in a cool, dark container. Use within 3 months for maximum freshness, and for even more absorption, pair them with a vitamin C-rich food like berries or kiwi. Small as they are, hemp seeds deliver what older muscles need: most fuel, flow, and peace. Coming up next, we'll explore a food that's both ancient and alive, one that uses bacteria to unlock muscle growth in ways no supplement ever could. 5. The yogurt that changes everything. How Greek yogurt uses bacteria to build muscle. Greek yogurt doesn't just help digestion, it builds muscle by changing what your body does with protein. Most people think of yogurt as a snack, something light, something easy on the stomach. But in the right form, and at the right age, it becomes something else entirely: a muscle amplifier. Let me explain why. After 70, your gut changes. It produces less stomach acid, absorbs nutrients less efficiently, and hosts more of the bad bacteria that trigger inflammation. And when your gut isn't working well, neither are your muscles. It's called the gut-muscle axis, and it's one of the most overlooked drivers of strength decline in older adults. Greek yogurt changes that. It's rich in probiotics, live cultures like Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Streptococcus thermophilus that restore balance in your gut. But their effect goes far beyond digestion. These bacteria produce bioactive peptides that actively increase muscle protein synthesis even before your body finishes breaking down the yogurt itself. That's not theory. That's been shown in studies of adults over 70 who consumed fermented dairy regularly. The result: better strength, improved balance, and lower levels of systemic inflammation. Greek yogurt also provides both whey and casein proteins, giving you a fast spike of amino acids and a slow-release supply at the same time. It's like getting breakfast and bedtime protein in one scoop. Let me tell you about Ray. He's 80, a former truck driver with a love for strong coffee and quiet mornings. But lately his mornings weren't so peaceful. He had started skipping breakfast. No appetite, no energy. He didn't want pills or powders. So we tried something simple: a bowl of full-fat Greek yogurt with ground flax, a handful of walnuts, and a drizzle of raw honey. After 2 weeks he was eating again. After 4, he was lifting his groceries without pain. "I didn't expect to feel this solid again," he said. Here's why that small change worked. The probiotics in the yogurt calmed his gut, gently reducing the inflammation that had been quietly blocking his ability to use protein. The healthy fats helped him absorb crucial fat-soluble vitamins like D and K vitamins that directly affect how muscles grow and recover. And the B vitamins, especially B12, riboflavin, and pantothenic acid, turned his meals into usable energy, giving his cells the fuel they needed. Then there was the calcium, more absorbable than anything in pill form, especially when paired with those live cultures. It didn't just strengthen his bones, it helped his muscles contract properly, supported his joints, and restored a kind of energy he thought was gone for good. If you're worried about lactose, start with small portions. Greek yogurt is strained. Most of the lactose is already removed, and the probiotics help digest the rest. Choose brands with high live culture counts and no added sugar. Want to boost it even more? Add a pinch of cinnamon for insulin sensitivity, or berries for antioxidant protection, or both. You'll create a meal that doesn't just feel good, it does good from your stomach to your cells. Greek yogurt may look simple, but for the aging body, it's a complex living system, one that speaks your biology's forgotten language. In our next section, we're going to meet an unexpected ally, a humble plant that costs pennies cooks fast, and builds strength from the inside out. 6. The lentil secret. Why this humble plant may be the most powerful protein you're not eating. Lentils are a plant-based protein that doesn't just work for the elderly, it thrives in the aging body. You don't see commercials for lentils. They don't come in glossy packages or colorful tubs. But if you open the cupboards of people in their 80s and 90s who are still walking, still gardening, still climbing steps, without fear, you might just find a small bag of them sitting in the back, quietly doing their work. Here's why that matters. Lentils contain nearly 18 grams of protein per cup. But unlike animal proteins, they arrive with something your body desperately needs more of as it ages: fiber. Not just for digestion, but for muscle. It turns out that your gut and your muscles are in constant conversation. When you eat foods rich in soluble and insoluble fiber, like lentils, your gut bacteria produce compounds like butyrate, which lowers inflammation and improves insulin sensitivity. And better insulin sensitivity means your muscles get more amino acids from the food you're already eating. Lentils also contain resistant starch, a unique form of carbohydrate that increases the thermic effect of protein. Simply put, your body burns more calories, digesting lentils while delivering cleaner fuel to your muscles. That means less fat gain and more usable strength, even on a modest diet. Let me tell you about Alice. She's 82, lives alone, and grows herbs in her kitchen window. She told me one day, "I don't like meat anymore. It just sits there. But I don't want to get frail." We didn't add meat. We added lentils. She started cooking red lentils twice a week, soft, simple, fast. Blended them into soups or mashed them with garlic and lemon. Within a month, she wasn't just eating better, she was moving better. "I feel fed," she said. Not just full, fed. There's a reason for that feeling. Lentils are one of the highest sources of folate, a B vitamin essential for building new muscle proteins. Folate deficiency affects nearly 30% of older adults and directly slows protein synthesis at the DNA level. Without it, no amount of chicken or shakes will build lasting strength. Lentils also deliver iron, crucial for myoglobin, the protein that stores oxygen in your muscles. And yes, that iron is plant-based, but it becomes far more absorbable when you pair it with vitamin C. Just add some tomatoes or a splash of lemon juice to your lentil dish, and you unlock its full potential. And then there's potassium, magnesium, and polyphenols. 3 silent helpers that reduce muscle cramps, improve energy transfer, and fight cellular damage that builds up with age. Red lentils cook in 10 minutes. No soaking, no waiting. And if chewing is an issue, they dissolve into creamy textures. Black lentils bring antioxidants. French green ones hold their shape for salads. You don't need to choose. They all work. This is food that doesn't need to be fancy, only consistent. If you think plant-based protein isn't enough to keep you strong, you haven't met lentils. You haven't seen what they do when given time. And you haven't felt what it means to be strong from the inside out. Next, we'll look at one ancient grain that completes the lentil story, a protein-packed fuel that powers muscles without spiking blood sugar or draining your energy. 7. The ancient grain trick. Why quinoa fuels muscle without the crash. Quinoa is one of the only grains that gives seniors complete protein and steady energy without blood sugar spikes. If you've ever eaten a bowl of rice or pasta and felt sleepy an hour later, you already understand the problem. Most carbs give you a quick lift, then drop you just as fast. And when you're older, that crash isn't just about energy. It affects your strength, your balance, and your ability to build and preserve muscle. That's where quinoa changes the game. Quinoa is what's called a complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids in ideal proportions. It's rare for a plant, even rarer for a grain, but its value goes far beyond protein content. Here's what makes quinoa unique. It delivers complex carbohydrates, protein, and fiber all in one, creating a glycemic index that's low and stable. That means your blood sugar rises slowly, stays steady, and gives your muscles a reliable source of fuel for hours. No crashes, no spikes, just sustained strength. It's also rich in magnesium, which powers ATP production, the core energy source for every muscle contraction. Without enough magnesium, your muscles can't work properly, no matter how much protein you eat. Quinoa provides about 30% of your daily magnesium needs in a single cooked cup. That matters especially when 80% of older adults are magnesium deficient. It doesn't stop there. Quinoa gives you manganese, a trace mineral that protects muscles from damage during exercise. It activates enzymes that reduce oxidative stress, helping you recover faster from everyday movements that used to leave you sore. Let me tell you about Glenn. He's 79, lives with his wife in a small home with a garden he refuses to give up. But bending down, standing up, lifting even small bags of soil, it had started to take a toll. We made a small change: quinoa bowls for lunch instead of white rice or bread. Just once a day. After 3 weeks, he was moving with less strain. "I still get tired," he said, "but I don't crash anymore. I can finish my afternoon without needing a nap." That was magnesium, fiber, and protein working in harmony. And here's the beautiful part. Quinoa isn't just a side dish. It absorbs flavor, easily works in both sweet and savory meals, and cooks in under 20 minutes. Boil it in bone broth instead of water, and you instantly double the protein content while adding collagen for joint support. Want more benefits? Quinoa is rich in B vitamins, especially B6 and thiamine, which convert protein into muscle tissue and fuel. It also contains quercetin and kaempferol, 2 flavonoids that reduce inflammation and encourage mitochondrial growth inside your muscle cells. That's not just nutrition, that's cellular repair. You can eat quinoa warm with sautéed vegetables, cold in salads, or even as a breakfast porridge with cinnamon and hemp seeds. One bowl can carry your energy and your strength through the entire afternoon. For seniors, it's not just about how much protein you eat. It's about how your body uses that protein. Quinoa doesn't just deliver it, prepares your system to absorb, convert, and sustain. Next, we'll return to the quiet hours of the night and reveal how one bedtime pairing can help you wake up feeling stronger than the day before. 8. The bedtime buffer. Why slow digesting protein before sleep changes everything after 70. Slow digesting protein before bed helps your muscles recover, rebuild, and stay strong even while you sleep. There's a quiet battle happening inside your body every night. You lie down, close your eyes, and drift off, but your muscles don't rest. Not really. Without support, they begin breaking down slowly, using themselves for fuel. This process, overnight catabolism, becomes more aggressive as we age. The solution isn't more sleep, it's better fuel before sleep. Enter casein, the slow-digesting protein found in cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, and one surprising combination that's helped many of my older patients wake up feeling like themselves again. Here's what makes casein different. It forms a gel in the stomach, releasing amino acids into the bloodstream, gradually, not in a burst, but in a steady stream that lasts for 6 to 8 hours. That's enough to support your muscles through the night, keeping them fed, protected, and primed for growth. Now combine that casein with a spoonful of almond butter and you get something even more powerful. The healthy fats slow the digestion of protein even further. The magnesium in almonds promotes muscle relaxation and recovery, and the combination of protein and fat stabilizes blood sugar, preventing the energy drops that often lead to poor sleep quality. Let me tell you about Darlene. She's 75, active, and proud of her independence. But she started noticing a change, not during the day but in the mornings. She felt weaker getting out of bed. Her legs ached. Her grip felt unreliable. She wasn't overdoing it. She was underfeeding her muscles when they needed it most at night. We added one habit: half a cup of cottage cheese mixed with a tablespoon of almond butter and a dash of vanilla. No pills, no new workouts, just a 90-second ritual before bed. After just 2 weeks, she woke up stronger, not sore, not stiff. "It's like my body remembered how to rest," she said. And the science backs her up. This kind of nighttime protein intake has been shown to stimulate muscle protein synthesis during sleep, especially in older adults. It also improves growth hormone release, deepens sleep cycles, and enhances physical recovery from even low-impact activities like walking or stretching. What's often missed is this: You're either building or breaking down muscle every night. There's no neutral. Feeding your body the right kind of protein before bed tips the balance in your favor. And because casein is easy to digest and requires no preparation, it's a practical, affordable option. If you prefer something sweet, try blending cottage cheese with a little cinnamon, a teaspoon of raw honey, and freezing it for 30 minutes. It tastes like ice cream, but your muscles know better. They treat it like medicine. Don't let the night undo the progress of your day. One simple habit, one small bowl, can protect hours of effort and keep your strength intact. Coming up next, we'll look at how timing might matter just as much as what you eat, and why the first 60 minutes after movement may be the most powerful muscle-building window of your entire day. 9. The timing that turns food into fuel. Why when you eat protein matters more than you think. Protein timing can make the difference between feeding your muscles or wasting the effort of your day. We spend so much time thinking about what to eat, we forget to ask when. But the older you get, the more important that timing becomes. Because after 70, your body's muscle switch doesn't stay open for long. You have a short window, about 60 to 90 minutes, when your muscles are ready to receive repair and rebuild. That window, it opens after you move. Even light activity, stretching, walking, gardening, increases blood flow to your muscles by up to 40%. That blood carries amino acids. If you give your body the right protein soon after moving, it acts like a delivery truck arriving on time with muscles waiting at the door. But wait too long and the window closes. Let me tell you about Frank. He's 85 and still enjoys his morning walk, slow, steady, but consistent. For years, he'd come home, sip coffee, and wait a few hours before eating. "I figured I wasn't that hungry," he said. He wasn't, but his muscles were. We shifted one thing right after his walk. He started drinking a whey protein shake with frozen berries, oat milk, and a pinch of cinnamon. Not heavy, not forced, just enough to feed his body during the window it was most ready. 2 weeks later, he noticed his legs didn't tire so quickly. A month in, he said, "It's like my energy sticks with me longer now." That wasn't luck. That was timing. The science is simple. After movement, your muscles are more sensitive to insulin. That means nutrients, especially protein, are absorbed and used more efficiently. Leucine reaches your cells faster. Recovery starts sooner. Growth begins when it matters most. This is what I call the absorption highway. You do something physical, even 10 minutes of gentle stretching, and you open the road. If protein is delivered during that time, your body uses it far better than it would hours later. That's why how you sequence your meals also matters. Start meals with fiber or vegetables like greens or sweet potatoes. That slows digestion and blunts glucose spikes. Then, eat your protein. This sequence helps more amino acids reach your muscles instead of being stored as fat. It's a small shift, but one that changes everything downstream. And remember, your muscles are in a constant state of turnover. They're either building or breaking. There is no neutral, no pause button, no safe waiting period. So the next time you finish a walk, or climb the stairs, or stretch while watching TV, think of it as turning on the light switch. And protein, that's the current. Deliver it while the switch is on. We'll close next with a full-circle look at how to turn these habits into a muscle-saving routine, one that's realistic, affordable, and built to last. 10. The unbreakable routine. How one daily schedule can build muscle after 70 and keep it. A daily protein intake schedule can protect your strength, rebuild your energy, and give structure to the rest of your life. Most people don't lose muscle because they're lazy. They lose it because their routine is broken, or worse, missing. Meals become random. Protein comes too little too late. And time, once a friend, becomes a thief. But here's what we've seen again and again. When you give your body structure, it responds. When you feed it reliably, not just occasionally, it remembers how to stay strong. That's why I call this the unbreakable routine. Not because it's rigid, but because it builds something inside you that resists weakness. Something that carries you through days when your appetite disappears or your energy fades. Let me show you what it looks like. Start your morning with whey protein blended with berries, cinnamon, and a small spoon of flax or hemp seeds. It's fast absorbable and gives your muscles exactly what they need within the first hour of waking. This is your signal, the spark. A couple of hours later, enjoy a bowl of Greek yogurt with walnuts and raw honey. It's not just a snack. It's protein, probiotics, and B vitamins working together to nourish your muscles and calm inflammation through the day. For lunch, think lentils and quinoa cooked in broth, seasoned with herbs, and paired with lightly sautéed vegetables. This combination delivers plant protein, fiber, and slow-burning fuel, everything your body needs to stay active without crashing mid-afternoon. Midday, have a small bowl of cottage cheese, maybe with crushed walnuts, maybe with a square of dark chocolate. This is your buffer, the bridge that carries your strength into the evening. Dinner, wild salmon with greens and roasted sweet potatoes. No complexity. Just omega-3s, complete protein, and the kind of nutrition that reverses muscle aging at the cellular level. And before bed, a half cup of cottage cheese or Greek yogurt mixed with almond butter and a dash of vanilla. This is your shield, slow-digesting protein to protect the gains of the day and feed your body through the night. This routine isn't about perfection. It's about consistency, about hitting your muscles' biological checkpoints every few hours so they never fall into starvation mode. Let me tell you about Lewis. He's 87 lives alone and once told me, "I don't mind getting old. I just don't want to disappear." We created this daily rhythm together, simple, flexible, and built around foods he actually liked. 6 months in, he had gained weight the good kind. His grip was stronger. He could get up from low chairs without using his hands. He said, "I don't feel young, but I feel capable again." You don't need expensive supplements or complicated meal plans. You just need timing, repetition, and a handful of foods you can trust. Make this your unbreakable routine. Let it be the scaffolding that holds up your strength quietly, daily, steadily. In the final section, we'll bring everything home, not with more advice, but with a reminder, the strongest version of you may still be waiting. Remember that moment at the start, when the coffee mug felt just a little heavier than it used to. That pause, that silent question, is this? Is this how it begins? What you've seen over the last few chapters is not a promise of youth. It's not a fantasy. It's the quiet reality that your muscles even now are listening, waiting, still capable of responding if you give them the right message at the right time in the right way. And the message is simple. I'm not done yet. Whey in the morning, cottage cheese at night, lentils on your plate, salmon when you can. Small things but not meaningless. Repeated, they become routine, and routine becomes strength. This isn't about chasing what's lost. It's about honoring what remains and using it, not to look younger, but to walk steadier, stand longer, lift what matters, hold on to yourself for just a little while more. So if something in this story felt familiar, or if you recognized your own hesitation, or if you thought, "That's me, I've felt that," then I hope you'll share a piece of that in the comments. Not for me, for someone else like you searching for a sign that they're not alone. And if this message meant something to you, consider subscribing to Elderly Life. There's more to say, and more life to live. You're not too old. You're right on time. Let your next meal be a beginning, and let silence do the rest.